Hello my crafty friends, it's Krista here from Second Chance Creation. Alright, I'm doing this on my phone. I've tried that StreamYard program or whatever it is that you get free to do a live, to be able to do the videos without uploading them. But I couldn't work it out. And it's the middle of the day and it's hot and I just can't do it, so I might just have to do it one night and do a bit of a test run. So I've got a new listing for my Etsy store and I'm absolutely in love with this journal. It's a Chunky Monkey. I do believe it's the first time I've made one with 5 signatures, I think, or maybe not. Anyway, in this style. And oh, just bear with me. Sorry, ladies. Okay, I'm going to sit down now. Much better. Now, this hardcover journal is called, I'm going to call this journal A Moment, and it represents a moment in our lives. We could have many moments that are precious, and we want to be able to save them and put a story together in a book or in a journal or whatever you have. Well, this is how I've created it, and it has a bit of a twist to it because I wanted to make it not a closed journal, not a bound up journal. It's like a free journal, and that you can place on a sideboard, a dressing table, bedside table, even a bookcase, but by leaving it open. And the reason for this is I've actually attached a couple of longer doily trims on the bottom, and when you put them out it looks as though it's sitting on a doily. And of course the soft tassels, no beads or anything, so that if it sits on a beautiful cupboard or your dressing table or wherever you want to see it, it's not going to knock the timber about. It has 36 pages, which equates to, I think, let me have a look, I did write it down, I think about 144 sides to journal on, and plus pockets and tags and scrappy notebooks and a little notebook, and yeah, lots and lots of journaling space. When I created it, I had something similar in mind of how I wanted it, but of course sometimes it turns out quite differently. So the signature's all sewn in. The cover I made over 2 years ago, and it was just a very sturdy piece of cardboard, and I've made a white spine, and I actually put wadding on it because I wanted it to pad it, and then put it away, because when I started journaling I thought, oh, I could, I'm biting off more than what I could chew. So I put it away in the too hard basket. Well, I found it the other day, and I thought, oh yes, I'm ready. So I found some beautiful pictures, and I've got this on the turntable, so it's a lot easier. And of course this is the front, and I'm just going to make sure that you see this. Okay. It's absolutely gorgeous, and these are the doilies. This is a tattered doily and a very old doily. It's got little flowers on there. I've used a lot of recycled material, including some handmade paper, just there. It has a bit of blue in it. I wanted to pick up some of the colours of the flowers, and I was going to actually put flowers in here, but I didn't have sort of the right colours, and I thought I'd end up ruining it. This is a whole cluster of ribbon roses, the ones that you can buy. And a beautiful tattered little tattered trim, hand tattered trim, which you rarely find these days. A beautiful little applique with dangles, and I just coloured the bit of tulle that's on here. This is dyed doily. It was a placemat, large placemat. It's food colouring that I used here. And the cover, I've covered it with a gift bag. And you can just feel the softness because it is padded underneath. And the gift bag, I just love the colours, the bird cage, and a table just here, which you can't see because I ended up, covering it. I had some tulle, I backed that onto, put that on the back. And then I found in the op shop, because Halloween has been and gone, a new packet of Halloween mesh that they probably use for spider webs or whatever, and I've used that to cover the journal. You can see my stitching. I've made sure it's nice and neat, 5 signature, and I used pink embroidery thread, which is quite strong. And it's glued and stitched around, so it's not going to come undone. And it comes around right to the back, and here is the other part of the doily, so that when you sit it down, you can see it. And I'll show you what's here in this back here. So yes, so let's venture inside, and of course the tassel, I've just used very soft fabrics that I use throughout the journal, except for the blue seam binding. It's the only time I've used it, just to pick up some of the blues that are here. But it's mainly the pinks and some greens and some coffee dyed colours and that. Okay, so what have we got? We have got, and of course I've sewn in all my, I might just move this turntable, otherwise it's just going to freak me out, and just place it on here. So yes, this might be a part 2, I'm not sure. I've covered the inside with some paper stock that I had, and of course here I've made a pocket, and it holds a little envelope booklet. Okay, nice and soft and squishy, and that just tucks in really nice in here. And I've made a little book plate there. This book belongs to, this is wrapping paper, and I actually coffee dyed it, and then wrapping paper that I copied onto A4 paper, and then I coffee dyed the whole lot. A little tag, time to reflect, and this is what this journal is about, so that when you leave it open and you walk past, it invites you to write things in it. Very heavily stained. I've made quite a few paper ruffles. Used a lot of very old vintage beautiful crochet trims and doilies. Lots of writing space, so I didn't go overboard, so I have kept it quite so that you can write on it. Some pages are just torn by the ruler. I did not ink any pages in this one. I wanted to keep it nice and clean. Here I've got a paper bag, a lunch bag, and my sister-in-law was a photographer, school photographer, a couple of years ago, and the kids used to have their lunches, or something like that anyway, and she brought home all these lunch bags. So I've got about a dozen of them, so I've altered it to suit the size I wanted. So here inside you have a tag. Okay, this was actually a card that someone sent me, and I've turned it into a tag. Here I've got a couple of tickets. Now I've been very naughty. I've actually bought these from an Etsy store, and yes, I just, whether I print them out on cardstock or whether I buy them, I thought, well, I might as well just support a Australian Etsy store as well. And I do believe, I'm trying to think now what the name of the store was. I'll leave it in the description box and you can have a look. And then of course here is a little gatefold Okay, so you can put some secret little notes in there. Just love this. And of course, I wanted to have this overhanging. I've glued some book paper on here and a, fussy cut out a butterfly just to give that a little bit more support. Here is something that went wrong, believe it or not. I've got an envelope here and I wanted just to cut the top off, and some more tickets here, bus tickets. And I wanted to make a tuck, and I've got a little ticket here, and I used one of my skins, and this was meant to be in there, a little tag. Well, I've put it in there too soon, and lo and behold, it just glued itself to it, so now it's just, yeah, it's just there. You can't pull it out. Unbelievable. And here's this beautiful tag. Here's some pretty ruffles, and that's the fabric I used throughout as well. A little collage with some stamps and some book pages. I mean, I was going to do some stenciling on here, but you know, I just love all the pattern of the papers from the, when I coloured them, so I just didn't want to do that. So I used some writing paper that I had, and all from the op shop, and I just coffee dyed all this. And some of the short pages I've actually just put some trims on the bottom. Here's a paper ruffle, and this is the other part of the bag. I think this was the base, okay, with a chair, because the bag was sort of like at the front, the back, and the base, and I took that off as well, scrunched it all up and made a tag out of it, and just some ruffle and some, yes, and this is just on there. It's a little tag I've just glued on there. It's out of a book, The Better Part, chapter 1, whatever that was. And here's one of my little tags with a bit of seam binding on the top. Another little cluster. I used a few stamps here. One of my painted papers. I think that was the end of them now. I keep saying that, but I keep finding them. This is a little collage tag that I made. It's from a huge calendar, A5 size. And what I did was, some of the pictures I didn't like, I covered it with napkins and did some stamping and some stenciling on it, and it come up really, really pretty. So there's two napkins in this. There's a black and white napkin, and then the napkin with the hummingbird, but I actually fussy cut it, the hummingbird, out from another napkin. And yeah, and then and the same with these are fussy cut. Each little butterfly is fussy cut out. Then I sprayed some inks on it, food colouring I should say, and then I did a bit of stamping here, and I think there's a bit of stamping up there. So I really like how that turned out. And this one you can just fold out, another little cluster. I've put some paper clips throughout, and this is actually a paper clip I've made the paper bag into a paper clip. It's got a little rusty paper clip on here. On this here it's got a little tag. So yes, and inside the paper bag you've got another tag to journal on, and a bit of collage with a bit of tulle. Tomorrow, she's obviously waiting for him. He's a pilot, and obviously in love. And these are little envelopes. They just tuck in there like that. And this is was inspired by Bonnie from Bonny and Clive. I'm going to leave all the links down below. I hope I remember. So yes, so this is and what I did is put a bit of cardstock on the back just to keep it nice and strong, because the bag itself isn't really strong. And yes, so you can pop that wherever you like, and I do believe, yep, it just opens up, and then just put that little bird cage back under there. This here is a papers that I made, a collage, and I photocopied and coffee dyed it. Here's some, I think this is writing paper that I got, another one of Bonnie's stamps. This centre of the signature has two belly bands, beautiful, beautiful lace that I coffee dyed, and some papers. A4, all clean, so plenty of to journal onto. Another strips out. Some of the pages that were too long, I've actually left them. Here's a little tuck spot with a couple little tags. This is a flip out, and oh look, another secret little tuck spot that you can pop something in. Here I've made a top tuck spot, and this is from a writing stationery set and had the matching envelopes. And yeah, so I've just popped that in there, and that's another bit of journaling. Paper ruffle. This was a card, greeting card that someone sent me, and I can't remember who it was, so I've made that into a tag, and that just fits in here. This is signature number 3. It's an envelope, isn't it? Well, one would think so. And here you've got another little auto paper clip, okay, with a bit of tulle, and that's just keeps this closed, this envelope. And I've made a little cluster here. I got all these from a friend of mine who does quilting, and they were all little squares that she has no use for it, so I've got quite a handful of these. And I thought, what better way than to pop in a bit of washi tape just there, and stitch that on there, and then use that to open up the envelope. And that just opens up like that, and opens up like that. And look, some more journaling pages, some secret little papers here, a couple of index cards. Middle of signature, I've kept all the strings, and they've all got the little beads on them. And then on here, I've made this part that I folded over into a tuck spot, and I've popped in a couple of little tea cards. So that just goes together like that. Oops. Trying to hurry, but it's no use to hurry because, you know, you only make muck-ups. And that I didn't want to put anything on this because I want to keep it clean. And then here I've made a tuck spot because this is a very old piece of music paper that I printed this on. This is rice paper that was gifted to me, and I just photocopied that onto the music paper because I didn't want to use the rice paper. It's one and only piece. And here I've just made from packaging material just a tag with a little ruffle, one of my skins, a bit of book paper there, and that just pops into here. I've used some really pretty old doilies, and another little short one, and just flips little ticket, another little stamp cluster from Bonny. Excuse me. This is wrapping paper, and I actually coffee dye and then put it through the printer. And here is a side paper clip. Okay, again, one of the lunch bags. This was a greeting card, and I've just popped on a couple of girls, the 3 of us. It's all special moments, isn't it, that we remember. And I've made a bow from a tea bag and just some of my strings. And what I did with the window, I actually stitched some fabric inside because I had this all open. And correct me again, I'm being corrected here again. I've actually cut this piece of window out of an envelope that I used the other parts of. Sorry ladies. And I attached the fabric on, then I stitched the whole lot onto here. A bit of cheesecloth here, and a bit of the envelope, a bit of blue here, but it's all attached to this lunch paper bag. Okay, so this is side clip, and here I've made a pocket, and this is a cool little photo of cherry blossoms, and I think that comes from Bonny, and that just goes back in here. And then on the back here, you've got a whole pile of little paper dolls that you can journal on as well. You know, you might have some friends that you might think, oh yes, she looks like, he looks like, and make little notes on it. And they just sort of, you know, I just sort of make it so that they sort of attach there, but they like to peek through, don't they? Another paper clip. This is a little bit different. I will go here first, and I've made a scrappy little notebook, various papers here, and here is a paper clip which has a little notebook attached to it, which has imprint of little butterflies. Okay, and also it has a tuck spot. Okay, and I've just popped that in there so that you can see it's a tuck spot. And of course I used the strings and put some seed beads on it. And this is the back. This is the front cover of the little notebook, and I'm using it as the back, not that you can see it. And then your notepad just goes through there like that. Yeah, my little flip out, friendship, and we laughed and talked. Little fabric piece here, scrappy fabric piece. Here I've made a, this was writing paper, and I've just cut that out. Here I've made a little, it's a tag and one of my little geranium flowers, and put a dragonfly braid in there. Now this little pocket here, you know, most of you are probably familiar with it. On the A4 sheet, you get these pockets where when people collect cards, you can pop them in there. Well, I had a 6x6 one, had this tiny little pockets, and I can't remember what you call. There used to be a lot of challenges on. I actually entered in one of them that had the little pockets. So mine was a 6x6 inch entry. So I've got a couple of sheets of this left, so I've just cut that out and popped in one of my geranium dried flowers in there, and that just goes in there. I think it just looks so cute. In each signature, middle of signature, I'll put some pretty washi tape there. Here's one of my skins, girl lighting her lantern. I've got to make some more. I'm getting pretty low on my skins now, and just sewed on some of that fabric. And a lovely little card, plain card with a butterfly on it. And this is, let me put this in here so you can see it. So you've got two tuck spots. This here is, you know, those sheets of stamps, and once you peel it off, you're left with all this here. Well, I've put my stamp somewhere else, and I thought I could use it as a tuck spot. I think I've seen someone do it as well, but I can't remember who. So the big tag goes in the big pocket, and the butterfly tag goes in here so you can still see it. This is stationery paper that I got from the op shop. It's about a pad, and I just coffee dyed it all. Belly band from this really pretty lace, and a journaling card, decoupaged. I think this was some Happy Mail, that one. And here's the other part of the bag, which was on the top. It's got the holes, and I've just threaded in some fabric. It's not so anymore a bag, and just popped on some doily on the back here. The middle of the next signature, beautiful little crochet trim pocket, little journaling card. Again, you've got all your little seed beads just here. Just flips out. Little page here, and again, pretty little tag, one of those origami pockets, envelopes. Now this one, it's not a paper clip, it's actually attached to the page. It's a very sturdy page, that's why I chose it. Lovely big tag, the decoupage. On the back is another tag, so there's plenty of writing spaces. And then on the front here, you have a little round tag, which is the lid of the Cornetto ice cream cones, and of course a couple of tickets. Okay, and this is a round tea bag, and I use some of my appliques from my bridal dress. And this is all, I did a bit of a collage with on the bag with napkin and book paper. And this is another cluster tag. flipped here, but it was, you know, you can flip this page out, and on the other side I've just put a little tag on here that you can journal on with a couple of little seed beads. Here you come across here, and what do you find? Oh dear, another opening. Look at that. So plenty of room to journal on. On the back, some more, I've left some strings with the pretty little seed beads. I have so many I have to start using them. This off a magazine, used a couple of book pages and then made a flip and just put some plain paper on here, a bit of washi tape, and you open that up and you've got a little flip. I know you've got to take your tag out first. Someone playing, if you like music, you know, you might want to have a special moment. You might have a special moment, you know, a favourite song or something. It goes back in there. And here's another tuck spot. And we come to the last page, I do believe. Oh yes, I've just accidentally popped that on there, but we'll put that off, take it off. And of course, here I've made a pocket, and this here is a rainfall chart, so you can record, you know, how much rain you'll get if you want to do that. And just a little flip up from a library card thing. And then on the back, that's what this little altered paper clip, little paper ruffle, a button, little safety, that's the tiniest little safety pin I've got, a little pearl, and a gold hairpin. And on the back is another pocket, and this is rice paper that I photocopied onto this paper. Isn't she just gorgeous? And I couldn't reverse it, so I've got a new printer. Hubby bought me a printer and I just can't work it out how I can reverse it, but anyway, it's all good. Maybe if I scan it, put on my computer and then flip it, that would do it. It's just too much technical stuff. And I've popped in a little doily center just in there, and that just tucks in here, so that's another little pocket. So this is the back of the gift bag. Just take this all out. Okay, so you can see this is the gift bag, and here is that chair. The other side was, I can't remember where the other side was because it was bigger. I can't remember, but anyway, I ended up with two of those chairs. So yeah, so this is the back, okay, and this is the front. And the whole idea, I'll put all this in here later. Oh, this come out the front. I'm yet to, can either pop that in there, I might even just glue that in there so it won't come out. So I want it to look like it's a cluster. And then I've got this little envelope and a teeny weeny tiny little tag, and that just actually tucks in the middle, so I've got to glue that in. So yes, so isn't this just gorgeous? And the whole idea, of course, is that when you're sitting it somewhere, you don't want it bound up. She's just too pretty. Oh, I've got to glue that in there. That'll be glued in. And you can see the doily on the side. It's like I say, it's on a mantelpiece or a dresser or a sideboard, or yeah, it's going to, you know, it's just beautiful. So this will be in my Etsy shop. This will be my new listing. And I've got another couple of videos to load up as well. I've sold my February box, thank you very much. So I'm starting on my March box. So yeah, so let me know of your thoughts. I reckon this is a beauty and I just love it. So you know what you've got to do. It's warm here in Warialda, and yes, I might have a nice cold glass of lime. Cold water and a slice of lime, that just suits me fine. So the next video I'll do a little of a project share and just some other bits and pieces. Until next time, you know what you got to do. Happy crafting. Bye for now.